Islam is not a region, but a religion. It is a monotheistic faith that originated in the Arabian Peninsula in the 7th century CE and spread throughout the world. Today, Islam is the second largest religion in the world, with over 1.8 billion followers, and is practiced in many different regions and cultures, including the Middle East, Africa, Asia, Europe, and the Americas. Therefore, Islam cannot be classified as a region, but rather as a global faith. When and where did Islam start? The founder of Islam is the Prophet Muhammad, who was born in the city of Mecca in modern-day Saudi Arabia in 570 CE. Muhammad began receiving revelations from God through the angel Gabriel in 610 CE, which continued until his death in 632 CE. These revelations were later compiled into the Holy Book of Islam, the Quran. Muhammad began preaching the message of Islam to the people of Mecca, calling for them to worship only one God, Allah, and to live a righteous life. However, his message was initially met with opposition and hostility from the powerful tribes of Mecca, who were invested in the polytheistic religion that dominated the region. In 622 CE, Muhammad and his followers migrated from Mecca to Medina, an event known as the Hijra, which marks the beginning of the Islamic calendar. In Medina, Muhammad established a community of believers and continued to spread the message of Islam, gaining many followers and allies. Over time, the Muslim community grew stronger and eventually returned to Mecca, where they peacefully took control of the city. Muhammad died in Medina in 632 CE, but by that time, Islam had spread throughout the Arabian Peninsula and had laid the foundation for a vast and enduring faith that continues to shape the world today. Who are the Caliphs of Islam? The Caliphs of Islam were the leaders of the Muslim community after the death of the Prophet Muhammad. The word caliph comes from the Arabic word khalifa, which means successor or deputy. The first four caliphs are known as the rightly guided caliphs and are highly revered by Muslims for their leadership and adherence to the teachings of Islam. They are Abu Bakr, 632 to 634 CE. Abu Bakr was a close companion and advisor of the Prophet Muhammad and became the first caliph after his death. Umar ibn al-Khattab, 634 to 644 CE. Umar was also a close companion of the Prophet Muhammad and played a crucial role in the early expansion of Islam. Uthman ibn Affan, 644 to 656 CE. Uthman was also a companion of the Prophet Muhammad and oversaw the standardization of the Quran. Ali ibn Abi Talib, 656 to 661 CE. Ali was the cousin and son-in-law of the Prophet Muhammad and is revered by Shia Muslims as the first Imam. After the death of Ali, the caliphate became a hereditary position, and the title of caliph was claimed by different dynasties throughout Islamic history, including the Umayyads, the Abbasids, and the Ottomans. The Islamic war took place from which? The term Islamic war is not specific enough to identify a particular conflict, as wars involving Muslims have occurred throughout history in various regions and for different reasons. However, there are a few historical wars that are commonly associated with Islam or Islamic empires. Here are some of them. The Rashidun Caliphate Wars, 632 to 661 CE. These were a series of military campaigns that were launched by the first four caliphs of Islam to expand the Muslim territory and defend the new Islamic State from external threats. The Crusades, 1096 to 1270 CE. The Crusades were a series of religious wars between Christians and Muslims that took place in the Holy Land, which included modern-day Israel, Palestine, and Jordan. The Ottoman Empire Wars, 1299 to 1922 CE. The Ottoman Empire, a Sunni Muslim state, fought numerous wars throughout its history, including wars against the Byzantine Empire, the Safavid Empire, and European powers. The Iran-Iraq War, 1980 to 1988 CE. This was a conflict between Iran, which is predominantly Shia Muslim, and Iraq, which is predominantly Sunni Muslim. It's worth noting that not all wars involving Muslims have been religious in nature, and many conflicts have been driven by political, economic, or social factors. What are the Islamic states? There are currently no countries in the world that are officially designated as Islamic states. However, there are several countries with Muslim majority populations that have Islamic legal systems or include Islamic principles in their governance. Some examples include Iran. The Islamic Republic of Iran is a Shia Muslim state that has a theocratic government, with Islamic law, Sharia, being the basis of its legal system. Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is a Sunni Muslim state that has a monarchy with close ties to the conservative Wahhabi branch of Islam. Islamic law is the basis of its legal system, and the country has strict rules on social conduct and gender segregation. Pakistan. Pakistan is a Sunni Muslim state that has an Islamic legal system, with Sharia being the basis of its legal code. The country has also declared itself an Islamic republic in its constitution. Malaysia. Malaysia is a multi-ethnic and multi-religious country with a Muslim majority population. It has an Islamic legal system that coexists with a secular legal system, and the country's constitution recognizes Islam as the official religion of the state. It's worth noting that the concept of an Islamic state is a contested and complex idea, with different interpretations and visions among Muslims and scholars. What are the reasons for the destruction of the Islamic State? When people refer to the Islamic State, they are generally referring to the militant group that declared a caliphate in Iraq and Syria in 2014. This group, also known as ISIS, Islamic State of Iraq and Syria, was officially defeated in 2019, although its remnants continue to carry out attacks and maintain a presence in the region. The reasons for the destruction of ISIS are multifaceted and include military defeat. ISIS was ultimately defeated through a sustained military campaign led by an international coalition that included the United States, Iraq, and various other countries. The campaign involved airstrikes, ground operations, and support for local forces that were fighting against ISIS. Loss of territory. One of the key goals of ISIS was to establish a caliphate, or Islamic State, in the region. However, the group gradually lost control of its territory due to military defeats and pressure from local forces. By 2019, ISIS had lost its last stronghold in Syria, effectively ending its control over territory. Internal conflicts and leadership losses. ISIS faced internal conflicts and leadership losses throughout its existence, which weakened the group and made it more vulnerable to military defeats. The death of its leader, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, in 2019 was a significant blow to the group's leadership and morale. International cooperation. The defeat of ISIS was made possible through international cooperation and coordination among various countries and organizations.